Okay. Okay. So hello to all. This is Alejandro Bratti and William Isley from Unlock Clarity. And welcome to the Spanglish World Network on Single TV Channel 250. Please remember to download both the Single TV app on the respective app stores on iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure to rate and leave a comment. The app is free and available in Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Roku, and all smart TVs. Today we have been talking some time with William about this topic because it I believe like the closure of everything that we have been talking in the last months, not only weeks but months, uh, about. So it's not going to be one program. That was part of the discussion. Like, okay, how many programs we can create to connect with this. So if you have any question on this, we are more than happy to have you like writing any comment in the chat or sending messages in any of our social media. So thank you for being here. Today we are going to talk about something that I like, and it's talking about this dance between the different energies, the masculine and feminine energies. So how are you, William, today?
I'm doing well. I'm having been in IT for years, loving the technology is great when it works motif. So yeah, doing well. How about you?
I'm doing well too. The weekend was great for me and my family. So today we are recharged, and we had a lot of good things happening today. So in regards of the dance of masculine and feminine energies, why we are talking about that? So the first thing that we want you to think is imagine your life as a well-crafted piece of music. Um, the masculine energy is the rhythm, the steady beat that gives you the music structure and direction. It's a drum that resonates with assertiveness, confidence, and focus. And the feminine energy, on the other hand, is like the melody, the tune that gives the music its emotional depth and nuance. It's the violin that sings with compassion, sensitivity, and intuition. And if you start to hear even the thing that we are saying are the words that we have been talking in the last months. Together between the symphony and between the melody, we can start to have the harmonious symphony that is both powerful and touching. And that's exactly what we are saying. It's like you can be like everything is power and there is no emotion, or it can be like everything is emotion and there is no power. It's like it has to be both, and it has to be like a dance. Like sometimes it's one, sometimes it's the other, sometimes they are together, and that's exactly what we are talking about. We are co-creators in this magnificent composition that is called life.
Yes, that is a brilliant observation. Thank you, ChatGPT. I mean, Alejandro. Um, yes, we love our friend. He writes well sometimes. Ah, but yeah, it's a great metaphor, and it's a what is it? It's a great way to start off what's looking like a 5 episode uh, series on integrating the masculine and the feminine. And we've got into great depth for both of them. And it's like, okay, so we've got both of these. So what do we do with them now? Well, this is the a way to look at what do we do with them now. The the rhythm and the melody. It's like understand how the masculine serves as the rhythm. And in a symphony, I've heard many of them in my lifetime because I grew up on classical music. listening to it. And it's like sometimes there's that thundering drums that gives a cadence, and then they fall back, and then you come in with your string section or your wind section, and then you get this beautiful melody part, and then like for the crescendo they're both going full out, and so then you get both of that emotional depth and richness going on.
Yeah, and the second part that we want to talk today is the co-creation. So when you hear that voice of that word of co-creation, is like there is one creating and the other creating at the same time. And here, what we are saying is the masculine energy and the feminine energy co-creating together. And when you start to connect both and accept both and embrace both, these energies start to help you to create something richer, something with more experience, something that is like harmony, not only like, okay, yeah, I like the power, and I really remember this. That's where I coming from. Like when I was in corporate, all the time I was using more the masculine. Like everything was about the power, the transformation, like everything that I wanted in the masculine energy. And and when you start to connect with the other one, it's like you are co-creating and you start to create like a symphony where everybody can feel like, oh, this is great. This is not only push, 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 push the whole time, but also have some silent moments where you start to feel the emotion and start to have this crescendo that William was talking about. So at the end, it's about how rhythm and melody come together, how they are together co-creating everything.
And then we move to the balance over the dominance. And so, yeah, okay, that's perfect. Because what I was thinking as you were talking was that everybody in here gets a voice, everybody in here gets heard. Because what I learned in um, working through my steps as a food addict and the 12 steps, it's like if I ignore various parts of me and do not give them voice, they take over. They come back around and there is no balance. And they just say, you've been ignoring me long enough. I'm going to have that Twinkie. I'm going to screw you over. And so it's just, yeah, it's incredibly important not to let one energy, one voice be dominant all the time, because it's like just as a song isn't complete without some version of rhythm. I mean, a cappella is great. It's just that whenever you have someone to have a drum or something else to go with it, it just adds uh, more voice, more balance, and ultimately, even if a choir is doing a cappella, if someone in that choir is providing the base level beat, it's more fulfilling to me.
Yeah, and even in the capella where you are saying, you have somebody that is keeping the rhythm and is keeping like so it's like that's why it's amazing because it's a melody but also a rhythm at the same time, even when there is no instrument. So in the capella, it's different voices doing different things, but at the same time they are doing the rhythm and the melody just with voices. So even in the a cappella is you are trying to have this balance, and sometimes it's one thing, sometimes it's the other one. So I understand this completely. In the harmony, in diversity, so this word that I was saying, sometimes I prefer really to talk about harmony than even balance, because in balance we are trying like, okay, work life balance, how I can have work life balance if I have this issue right now that I need money to give to my family. So it's like, okay, but let's start to understand how is the harmony. It's like if all the time you are in the crescendo, suddenly you are going to burn out. But if you start to learn how to go down and start to play and start to move, between this rhythm and melody, how you can start to move between the work and the life and the things that are happening, and not everything is work because this is the only thing important in my life, and the whole year has been about work. And when start to look, it's like, okay, there is no family, there is nothing else because I have been focusing so much in one area. So at the end, there is harmony in diversity when we start to manifest and start to see the different topics. For example, when I am coaching somebody, one of the first things that I do is like, okay, let's start to see like the wheel of your life. Let's start to see like what are the different areas in your life and where do you want to put more focus. And what is the meaning of that is like, okay, right now maybe you are not even aware that you need to improve in one area, but when I bring that awareness to you, you decide like, okay, yes, I agree. That area, I haven't think about it, and I want to start to think about it. And when you start, that starts to happen, suddenly the door starts to open. So harmony and diversity is like where everything starts to, every single thing in your life is going to bring a symphony, uniqueness, and requires both energies again, the rhythm and the melody, the masculine and the feminine energy.
And one of the things that you were talking about, you mentioned fun. So there's a subset of us humans that um, fun was drummed out of us. It's like it's not okay to have fun. And so if you think of the symphony and the conductor is not having fun up there, I mean, I don't know how many symphonic presentations you've watched, but if the conductor's not having fun and that's translating into the orchestra, it pretty much sucks pond scum. Um, and so then if we're in here and we're the conductor of this whole thing and we're not having fun with it, then everything's out of balance and nobody sounds great together, yada yada. And so it's up to us to intentionally create a, 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 a role for all of these energies and all of these parts of us. This is something for later, but I'm discovering that some of the pieces in here we think are us are not. They're pieces that we've taken on from someone else. And so there's instruments in here playing that aren't part of our symphony, which is why things sound off in the first place. It's just it. It's just remember you're the conductor, and if you're not having fun with it, it's probably time to ask somebody for help with this.
And really, where the transformation start to happen is when you start to create awareness. Uh, so there is no way you can transform anything if you don't have awareness, and that's one of the reasons we are having this program every Monday that we can. I know that it's not exactly every morning, every Monday, but we try to do it in every morning. And and what is the idea is to bring awareness so you can start to realize like, oh, I didn't know that this type of energy was feminine. And when you I start to interact with the power in the masculine, suddenly I can start to be more powerful because I am accepting both sides and I am embracing everything. It's like at the end everything is like that. So the 5 steps that we recommend, that we always recommend with this program, the first one is reflect on your energies. Start to have some time to look inside of you. It's like, okay, identify how are you living, and maybe at the end of the day, how are you living? Everything today was masculine, or it was more feminine, or it was, you don't even realize how you were living. So start to understand if something was more prominent during the day, and with that, you can start to ask, okay, did I feel okay, or did I feel disaligned, not aligned? Did I feel that I was empowered, or I feel disempowered because I was pushing too much and I am not using the other energies to align. So how are you reflecting on your energies?
And with that, when you're reflecting on your energies, question what societal norms you're trying to live up to, um, and the limiting beliefs that we get from society. It's incredible. I've been following some interesting rabbit trails the last 3 or 4 weeks, and just all of the things that I've gotten from culture and society, and um, all the different cultures that I interact with, because religion is a culture, society is a culture, military is a culture, on and on and on. And so then you weave all those together, and sometimes they can produce some amazing limiting beliefs. So just question what's really going on in here, and whose is it?
And the next one, and I know that we repeat and repeat, but the repetition is also the mother of transformation. So when you will start to hear like this, and maybe this time you hear this, but journal your insights. Okay, after you reflect, after you started to realize, okay, this I am doing this because my family is pushing on this area. I am doing this because of my work asking for this, or because any other reason. Okay, I start to journal and start to write. Okay, what are the thoughts? What are the feelings? How I am exploring everything that is happening? This is serving me or not? Uh, so that's maybe the third point. Uh,
Yeah. And a thing that I have noticed is that once you've done your journaling, then you go back through and you make a blueprint, um, that outlines how you can be more authentic when you're showing up, and um, how you can identify and embody both of these energies in a more harmonious way. And it's sometimes easier to do this blueprint making with others, a trusted friend, somebody else in your life that can is an outside observer and can see uh, what we're blind to. Make sure it's someone you trust, though.
Exactly. And the last point, the fifth one, is share and inspire. At the end, when you follow these steps, you are going to have a lot of wisdom to share and a lot of things that others need. So when you start to share your insights and your blueprint to the people that you love and the people that you want to serve, if you want to serve somebody with this start to open the door to really learn the process. We learn more when we are doing it than other ways. So when we start to teach others, we learn more about this. So thank you everyone for listening today for the program. If you have any question, let us know. Next week, we are going to talk about breaking free from gender-based limitations, exactly one of the topics that William was talking about. And see you, well, in 2 weeks, because next week I won't be here, but thank you, everyone. This show can also be heard on the Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out spanglishworld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and leave it. Thank you. I'll see you in 2 weeks.